Well, let's get some analysis on this with Shai Franklin in New York. He's a senior fellow at the Dietrich Bonhoeffer Institute. Hi there, Shai. This coalition in Israel took 2 years to actually form, and now, after just 1 year, the country's headed to elections again. Naftali Bennett has said during the coalition's time in power, many things were accomplished, and it brought to the center stage, and I'm quoting him here, the values of fairness and trust. Do you agree with his statement?
I do. The 2 years it took to form the coalition included 4 elections. So it's not like it took them 2 years to form a coalition. It took them 2 years to get, took Israelis 2 years to get to a government. And the reason why every election was held was because of Benjamin Netanyahu trying to stay in power. And that's why this election is going to be held now as well, because Netanyahu, from the sidelines as the opposition leader, refused to support a vote in support of settlers in the West Bank against his own political base, just so that he could get back in power. In the meantime, in the last year, I think there has been stability to Israeli life, and there have been economic reforms, and there have been stabilizing in various ways. Defense policy, I don't happen to agree with the opposition to a new Iran deal, but the government has consolidated that approach, which I think has worked to their advantage politically. I think Israelis generally feel a little more optimistic, but again, the cult of personality by Netanyahu is still rearing its ugly head.
Well, U.S. President Joe Biden is visiting Israel next month, and then after that, he's headed to Saudi Arabia. How do you think Washington will be looking at these developments?
On the one hand, the Biden administration had invested a lot in the continuity of Naftali Bennett's government, but it wasn't just Naftali Bennett's government. He was one of the more junior partners in terms of the number of seats he brought to the coalition. Yair Lapid is, in a sense, even better for the Biden administration because he's more of a centrist, a pragmatist. He wasn't elected in order to support the settlers in the West Bank. And he will probably work with the Biden administration to begin finally some real steps toward engaging the Palestinians in negotiations. He might even be a little more amenable to an Iran deal. He will not be criticizing, well, Bennett tried not to criticize Biden, but also at the end of the day, even if the next election does not bring a new government that quickly, Lapid will be the prime minister as of next week. He will be the acting prime minister. So in a sense, that's even better for the Biden administration. But it's still a risk that Netanyahu could win the election in October and could form a government.
How do you think the Palestinians are looking at all of this? Relations are really at an all-time low, a lot of tension between these both sides going forward.
I think they have to be a little bit optimistic, but Palestinians have seen so many Israeli elections come and go. There was a lot of criticism against the Ra'am bloc, the primarily Arab party faction, which joined the coalition a year ago. Mansour Abbas is the leader of that. Some people called him a traitor for joining an Israeli government. Some people held out hope that there would be something that would come out of it. What has come out of it is not really anything good for the Palestinians yet. But so I think they don't hold out much hope. I think in terms of Palestinians' interests, we're probably behind where they were, say, 20, 25 years ago after the Oslo Accords.
Shai Franklin, good to get your take on this political crisis in Israel. Thank you so much.